Out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters, and we are lucky to have them, for they make the battle. But the one is a warrior, and he will bring the others back.
I feel like this calm chaos right now in his soul. Like, I don't know how to put it in words. There's like a massive storm going on, but like he's in the center of it. He's seeing it all around him, but he's just not experiencing it as himself.
Throw me to the wolves and I'll return leading the pack. From clinically disabled and wheelchair bound to ultra endurance athlete. This is a story of how I achieved the impossible by becoming supernatural. This is a story of Unbreakable Will. I invested 12 years of my life to serving my country in the military. When I was medically discharged, I turned to a life of healing and spiritual endeavors. It was here that I learned advanced techniques on regulating my nervous system and living a life of purpose. I traveled the globe learning from the best, sitting at the feet of gurus, exploring consciousness with master teacher plants, and tapping into flow. This opened up a whole new realm of pushing myself physically and mentally. Knowing was not enough. It would not set me free. So after a very deep conversation with God, I decided it was time to put this knowledge to the test. I created an experiment, something that would push me to my limits and break me, so that I could rebuild. A run across the country, with no medical support, no plan, no media coverage, no distractions. Me versus me. A journey that would forever change my life.
My initial thoughts when Will came home that day and told me that he had an idea. I was like, what is it? He said, I'm going to run across the country. And I think my first response was, cool. And then like more as the idea set in, I was gobsmacked. But my initial reaction was just like, oh, shit, we're going to do this. Oh, baby girl. You know you can give him normal cuddles.
Road to road, turn left towards Rosabrook.
Yep.
That brings us down along here.
Yep.
And then
Don't stop.
don't stop, cross Sue's Road.
Yep.
So yeah, immediate right, immediate left. And then we land about... In the conceptual phase of this run, when you look at 81 days on paper or 55 to 56k a day, it looks mostly physical. But for me, I knew this was going to be more of an emotional, mental, and spiritual journey. Taking accountability for my life not only improved it, but it saved it. It gave me purpose, it gave me insight, it gave me clarity, it gave me an opportunity to speak up and say when things weren't okay, so that I could receive support from the people that cared about me most. It gave me an opportunity to be seen for everything that I was, which gave me the opportunity to put down the pursuit for validation from a lot of people that don't know.
Let's do it!
How you feeling?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah. One more stop before town?
Yeah. Follow that until you get to pretty much just past the IGA, between the IGA and the hotel. Pretty early on when I first met Will, I found myself just not having any doubts about him, just feeling very strong towards him in his strength and in his power. But to join along was really just coming along for the ride. It's just there to help, sort of support in any way I can. But I knew the hard work would be done by Will.
Yeah.
Nice little town too.
It's the cutest town.
Yeah. And the way that he carried himself in preparation for the run, I knew it was just an easy decision. Emu, this is Shepard, just around the corner. You want your lounge chair?
This is some discomfort.
To achieve a feat like this, it takes courage, determination, resilience, strength. I think above all it takes belief that a human being can achieve incredible things. A belief that deep inside ourselves there is another entity, another soul, I don't know what it is, which has limitless power. And once you know and you come to terms with that, then you can achieve incredible things like Will did.
You know what? I'm in so much pain. We should do this again tomorrow. After 2.5 weeks of making our way across Western Australia, through beautiful countryside, undulating terrain, wild weather, chaotic traffic, savage animals, we were starting to come out of the honeymoon phase. We'd stepped into a new routine and we were all in high spirits. As we transitioned from the honeymoon phase into what would become the bulk of our journey together, the real living started to unfold.
Unusual, weird, and challenging day. I woke up this morning still in excruciating pain in my cankles and my feet, but I was like, I'm in a different headspace. I know the challenges of this now, and I'm ready for whatever the day has to throw at me. We got out today and we started really well, started on a good pace, kept a good pace all day, except I started to hallucinate. I was hearing voices. I was getting a bit wobbly on the road. I got sunburnt yesterday, and last night I did not sleep at all. I got maybe 2-3 hours of sleep. And so today we called it at 53 kilometers because it was getting dangerous with all the cars on the road. Come to find out, we had the same pace as yesterday, and it was just as fast a day as yesterday. So just another opportunity to learn more about myself and detach from my body and my mind and really allow this journey to be everything that it needs to be, and being in the moment and being present.
The biggest change I noticed in Will was his ability to soften and be vulnerable in asking for help that he wouldn't normally ask for. Having River help him sit down on a chair, or asking us to take his shoes off, or really expressing like, I'm in a lot of pain right now. Can you please help me with whatever it might be? Him to soften and be vulnerable and ask and seek help was something that was so amazing to witness. And I think it also spoke volumes to the mission of this run, was speaking up and asking for help and being vulnerable.
So when I started this run, a really good friend of mine, Maddie, another incredibly passionate and powerful human being, also inked head to toe like myself. He was about to start the same journey, just a little further.
When I started planning, I actually thought Margaret River was the most western point. And it wasn't until I had the first conversation with Matty that he educated me and said that Steep Point was the most western point. And this is where he would be running from Steep Point to Byron Bay. So it was an extra 480 something kilometers more than I was going to do. Coincidentally, we'd picked the same time roughly to do this journey. But the water jar, when Matty come across, I was already into the run. I was maybe 2 weeks into the run. He just got in a steep point and he had a rough trot. They hightailed it from Bundaberg across to Steep Point in only a matter of days. And so a few days in, Matty got fairly injured and he had to call it. But he'd gathered some water from Steep Point, from the ocean, in a jar. It was his chia pudding jar. He'd rinsed it out and put some water in it. And Aiden, his support guy and a very close friend, he kept this in the van. When I found out the news that Matty wasn't going to continue running, I was devastated. It actually really, really impacted me. I was really into it, and I had no idea where they were. I was still focusing on my run. I had no idea when he was coming through, but secretly Cass had organised with Matty to surprise me. And I'm sitting there one morning and someone comes in behind me and puts their hands on my shoulders and like kisses me on the head or something. And I'm like, River, what are you doing? And I turn around and it's Matty. And I was tearing and I was just so excited to see him. I just jumped up and just hugged him and just held him, and you know, it was such a beautiful moment and a very memorable part of my run. Matty said to me, "You're gonna get this done, Will." I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He goes, "Never give up." I said, "I'm not gonna give up." He said, "I need you to do one thing for me." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I couldn't get this jar to Byron Bay. Can you take this jar to Byron Bay for me?" A growing sense of comfort was creeping into what was becoming my everyday. Every time my foot hit the road, it was not just another step towards my target, but an opportunity for me to create space for the body, mind and spirit to talk. You hear some interesting things when you create such space.
Slow down, there's nothing to get you, can always turn it around. Oh, I shouldn't have met you, I only let you die.
I'd even meditate and chant while I was running, just to speed up the recovery process. Would spend upwards of an hour and a half focusing on breathing exercises, meditation and visualization each day, just to aid in assistance. Every day got harder and harder. The honeymoon was wearing off. What was about to be the largest body of work that I would produce on this run was arriving early. Delusional, seeing things, speaking to people that weren't there. Something was really off. It took time to communicate with my soul and ask for guidance, but I was blocked. I remember a distinct moment as part of the journey where I chucked a tantrum. bawled my eyes out on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. Voices in my head were so loud. I couldn't think straight, I couldn't communicate straight, my emotions were off, I couldn't eat. I was becoming an obstructionist again. The shadows I thought I'd healed from my past, revisiting, in this moment.
Weather's tough.
So what lingered for 2 days, poor mental health, quickly turned into a long-range fuel tank of a growth mindset. How can I let this be the greatest thing that ever happened to me? How can these injuries teach me something that I need to know to make sure that I achieve success? Broken right foot, torn right meniscus, torn left piriformis. The running was done, but I was not. Would go on to walk for 10 long days. To me, a contribution to a large body of work in the pursuit of mastery.
It hasn't got me down. It's just the pain's a lot.
Yeah.
The pain's like really quite hard to manage. Byron Bay. That is how it's going to be. Even if it's just a couple of days of walking. We'll continue. Continue to move forward. Continue to move the body. Continue to lean into all the discomfort. Because there's a lot. Oh look, a money spider. Been an ongoing journey of learning the capacity of the body, allowing the mind to be in it and observe the mind behaving in relation to the body, and then knowing the parameters of how much you can actually control your mind.
Now, even though I couldn't run, I could still walk at a decent pace. This gave me time to keep moving forward, and it gave me more time to be inside of the experience, more time to better understand what was going on inside of me. It gave me more time to forgive who I was so that I could step into who I was becoming. As my excitement for running grew, so did my awareness for who I was on this journey. And I was always beautifully reminded when I returned to camp, when my children would run out to see me and greet me in the car, carry my things, hold my hand, lead me to my recovery chair, get me my smoothies. And not only was I grateful and so proud of them for what they were achieving, be dragged across the country into places they'd never been, oftentimes staying only one night and then being dragged to the next location. These little people just blew my mind. I was truly blessed to be able to go through this experience where I could model and show who I was and what life was truly about. My kids would see this every single day that I returned, and I could not ask for a greater gift.
Press the button. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There's one moment, and really only one moment, where I had doubts. This was just after Will started running again. He'd just been walking like 10 silly long days. And he started running again. And he comes up to a checkpoint and he says nothing. He's just completely silent. The next checkpoint comes and he's completely silent. And there's just nothing. And we'd had such a strong communication throughout the previous days and beforehand leading up to everything. When I didn't hear him say anything, when he was just silent, I had some doubts. And then it was about the third checkpoint of the day, so it would have been around the 15-kilometer mark. And he's coming up and everything's very still, so I can hear him mumbling, "I'm not the body. I'm not the mind." And when I heard that, all those doubts gone. I knew there was nothing that was going to stop this guy.
By the time we'd hit the South Australian border, I had changed as a person. I see movement as the gateway to understanding our internal world, an opportunity to express ourselves in a physical sense so that we can embody the lessons that life has for us. I started the run with expectations that I was going to find out the man I was going to become. And even still, I was in a rush to get to that finish line. And it wasn't until I slowed down and became present in each and every moment that I possibly could that I truly started to understand what it means to be human, what it means to live. world is disconnected, constantly inundated with information, social media, news. We spend more time looking down than we do looking up. And it's the world that's happening right in front of us that we miss or fail to address. Immersed in Australia's landscape, it wasn't just a playground for me to go and explore. It was a classroom filled with many teachers, each time bringing me back to center, closer to the source. The lessons I learned on my journey across Australia will forever provide me the support and comfort in letting go in life when I'm gripping too tight. These lessons have continued to support me, bringing me home to my family and to myself. My journey across Australia gave me the awareness to experience and embody my connection with the source, with the unified energy field, one with nature, not separate from it. And I will forever be grateful for the experience that life showed me whilst running across the country. And I hope that you can take one little piece from this story and apply it to your life so that you can pursue mastery in your own unique and authentic way and ultimately connect you back to your purpose. I always knew this run was going to test everything that I believed about myself. And my determination to arriving at the finish line was about excitement of finding who I was going to become post-run. Everything that I learned throughout the journey, preparation, for my support, engaging with the public, I knew there was something deep inside me that I was to discover, that when I landed in Byron Bay, life was never going to be the same again. And the biggest thing I found was that everything I believed about myself weren't my thoughts. I didn't truly believe those things. So to put myself through an experiment such as this gave me the opportunity to see who I truly was beyond everything that I had ever experienced in life. I'd been dreaming about the last day 3 years, and I remember getting to the top of the hill and I dropped off the runners, the local runners that had been running with me, and they said, "Are you coming?" And I said, "I gotta do this by myself." I remember being there at street corner, just at the top of the hill, and just trying to gather myself. I was so emotional. I was reflecting on the journey, some of the darkest moments in my life. Definitely having high highs, but really low lows. And to be in that moment of achieving something so extraordinarily painful was the greatest gift.
When Will came running down into Wategos, it was just pure happiness. I was happy that he completed it. I was happy that it was done. But I was in shock because just how amazing it was to watch him run across the country.
To be quite honest, as excited as I was to see everybody and be welcomed by everybody on that beach, if it was just me still running into that beach by myself, I still would have had the same emotions, and I still would have been so grateful for the experience. As obsessed as I am, the following day, I actually booked in to go get a tattoo with a very significant piece. What was cool about this, the tattoo shop in Byron Bay had run a fundraising event, and they donated all of their money from this flash days, and they had this flash art to Veteran Support Force. One of the tattooists in there, she actually donated her whole weekend's wage, which is absolutely incredible. So I really wanted to go hug them, is what I wanted, but I figured, well, I'm in there, I may as well get a tattoo, you know, and I end up getting this symbol, which is a Sanskrit symbol for breathe or breath. I called up Aiden, and he came down, and he brought his camera and everything, and I had the jar already, and we FaceTimed Maddie, and the three of us got an opportunity. It was windy, it was howling wind, and the three of us got this special moment to pour the water in the ocean just outside of Byron Bay, and it really made the end of the run so special, you know, to be able to be in that, for sure.
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head.
This is where I went to school.
You look like you're late for knitting club.
Done with the motor, one of you brave boys decided to go for the ride.